All right, so we just passed the new moon in Scorpio. We're in the middle of Mercury retrograde and we're hitting a grand trine. And this grand trine is happening because some of the planets that moved into Aries, like Neptune, are back and moved back into Pisces. And we have Saturn still in Pisces. So these late degrees water signs are really just helping us get to the depths of our feelings and process and integrate. I think these retrogrades that are happening right now, as we've moved into new signs, these outer planets, right? It's helping us to retrack where we've been, however many years, or whatever we've been processing through these other transits. And so again, yesterday's reading, I kind of ended with heavy water energy. I remember it was like 8 of Cups and maybe 5 of Cups. And it's all about, even if we're feeling we're ready to move on to this next step and transform and build into our new lives, the energy is still telling us to really feel what we're doing. So let's go ahead and get into a reading and take a deep breath together. And I just ask that we're grounded, present, and open to receive messages. So what did we need to know about, just in general? Could be the trine, the grand water trine, it could be anything, but maybe this focus for this reading could be about integration. So what are we integrating? Ace of Wands, Hierophant, and this card was flipped over. 4 Swords. It's interesting how this all kind of came, the message just really hit me. And again, like that's kind of representative of the Uranus energy and Mercury energy that we're experiencing too. But without getting too deep into that, before I lose this, seeing the Ace of Wands and the Hierophant, what we're integrating is our new patterns, beliefs, what we're devoted to, the things that like we're making into law. Like these are our value systems, our morals, and it feels like these are ways that we're setting new, I want to say boundaries, but I feel like there could be more to expand on that. More habits, more rituals that we're using to light ourselves up. And it's always going to be rest, right? How we mentally sit and recalibrate with ourselves, whether it's a few minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. It's practicing and being devoted to allowing your body and mind to catch up and be with each other, to rejuvenate yourself. And a part of that integration is knowing those things that help you and light your flame, that fuel you. And this can even be about foods, which is kind of interesting that came up. It's seeing the Hierophant is kind of like a Taurus energy, right? How are we taking care of ourselves, nurturing, indulging, and really just like there's a sense of sensuality, having a more intimate relationship with food, because I don't even want to go down the road of like food regulations and what's being produced, but for whatever reason that came up. And just to touch on that in a very vague way, is how we can show gratitude and a better relationship with food. So quite a bit to come out in all of that, because this is a huge part of integration. And I think with like Neptune being that dreamier kind of state, we can kind of get lost in the sauce and detach ourselves from our physical body and the world around us. And so maybe you have experienced a lot of unhealthy habits when it comes around what you consume and put into your body. And this is just kind of saying, remember what helps you feel good in yourself. If you're lactose intolerant and you're eating a lot of dairy, what does that mean to you? Are you willing to suffer and deal with the pain and discomfort, or do you want to live a healthier lifestyle? So there's a lot in there. So you know, let's go ahead and look at how we can integrate these energies that are coming up for us. The Hermit, the World, knowing when to quit, knowing that your way of being in the past is over, in a sense. You can hibernate, recalibrate, but as you, let's see how I want to put it, like, as you look at who you are and where you've been and where you're becoming, a part of this integration, and like I said yesterday, the reading that I felt yesterday was, even though there's a sense of community and belonging and building that way, this is the rebalance of how you can take time for yourself, because as things start to speed up and the planets start to become more air and fire dominant, things will be moving pretty fast. And so I think all this water energy, the Grand Trine, the retrogrades back into Pisces, is telling us that this is, okay, what we experienced maybe the last like 5 or 6 months, yeah, that was moving pretty fast, right? But at the same time, how were you integrating everything? How were you filling into your body, filling into your emotions, looking at the world around you, tapping into what's deep and what you need to sustain the energy that's moving quickly? So what do we need to know about this integration phase? Page of Wands, Seven of Swords, and the Magician. I almost got like this kind of like, be careful what you wish for energy. I think as you keep things light and strategize about how you want to come out of hibernation. You know, it's interesting that the Hermit card in this deck in particular has like a, you know, they're in a coffin, right? They're hibernating. If I could see it real quick, if I could bring it back up. Oh, look, there it is. Right? So we have this energy, and then we have this energy of coming out. And this is like coming out of a deep sleep. And like you just, it's sleep inertia, right? You're like, I don't know if I am making sense of the world just yet, right? And everything around you. So it's just here with the Page of Wands, keeping it light, keeping it young. Remember, this is all still so new to you that taking pauses, taking time is perfectly acceptable, right? And it's almost like, I don't know why this came up, but it's like, as you maybe put up boundaries towards other people, or you're trying to say like, hey, like maybe your emotions are getting elevated in a situation and you're like, I need to come back down, right? It's one, how do you strategize that? But also, how do you distance yourself from the people that don't respect those kind of things? And maybe that does take a little manipulation on your part. And I'm not like advocating for positive or negative, or for you to be out there lying, right? But sometimes you just kind of need to say what you need to say. And I don't know why this is like starting to feel so messy in my head, because like it's like there's like arguments that I'm seeing, and like, you know, defensiveness, and there's you know, because there has been with a lot of the water energy too, like, you know, this could be like a sense of like boiling over. So how basically, you know, how are you going to manage that energy? This could be too about looking at how you've maybe asserted boundaries and set limits before, and that was manipulation and it was lies, and it's like, I'm really seeing how that energy has either not paid off, or, you know, needing to be honest and truthful, because that's what this last month in particular, really what I've been picking up in the cards and channeling, is that like this is a time for truth, and truth that is no longer anything that you can deny or lie to yourself about. And being honest, forthright, and brave about all of this is going to it's going to be more help, as hard as it may be. So to close out, what do we have? 4 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles. You're moving on from a lot, and you could be moving towards things that maybe you're choosing now that you didn't choose before. But continue to just take your time, rest, see the things that have disappointed you, see the places that you've been discontent, and choose to walk away from them, because that's what you're integrating. That's why this has come up again. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing. And just give yourself some extra love and keep it that way for, as we move into the new year, into 2026. This might be an energy that we're with for a little while, and it's important, and we can do it, and here we are to support each other. All right, much love.